Reading 2 Corinthians chapter 12 verses 5 to 10. Of such an one will I glory, yet of myself I will not glory, but in mine infirmities. For though I would desire to glory, I shall not be a fool. For I will say the truth, but now I forbear, lest any man should think of me above that which he seeth me to be, or that he heareth of me. So that was verses 5 and 6 of 2 Corinthians chapter 12. And what's so powerful here is that we sometimes want to glory, and we should not do so, because it's of Christ that we gain our strength, and anything that goes well for us, or anything that, any good that others might see in us is only of Christ. It's not of us. Any good inside of us is Christ, and it's Christ that has brought that joy and that spirit and that the Holy Spirit and love out of us, and it's not us ourselves. And we must always remember that. It helps to keep us humble. It reminds us of who is our North Star, and it's Jesus Christ, who's done all of this and more for us. And as we continue, this is 2 Corinthians chapter 12 from verse 7. And lest I should be exalted above measure, though the abundance of the revelations, there was given to me a thorn in the flesh, the messenger of Satan to buffet me, lest I should be exalted above measure. For this thing I besought the Lord thrice, that it might depart from me. And he said unto me, My grace is sufficient for thee, for my strength is made perfect in weakness. Most gladly therefore will I rather glory in my infirmities, that the power of Christ may rest upon me. So one thing that ends in verse 9. So one thing that this is telling us is how wonderful it is to glory in our infirmities. And we all have infirmities, so these infirmities can be anything. It could be familial problems, or friendship problems, or problems at the workplace, or there's always something, a physical infirmity, or something that we're dealing with health-wise. It could be absolutely anything. And it will be, it could be finances, it could be a whole bunch of different things. And these things are so important because they keep us humble. They remember that we can only be made strong in our weakness. And they remind us of God's great goodness. Because when we are given these thorns in the flesh, and you know what your thorn in the flesh is right now in your life, that will relate to this. It's a constant reminder, though it may be frustrating, though it may cause pain or suffering. It's a constant reminder, a reminder to glory in our infirmities, that the power of Christ may rest upon me. This is Christ's power that is given unto us, even through these infirmities and difficulties, to stay the course, to stay strong, and to stay focused on Jesus Christ and what he's done for us. And we must never ever glory in ourselves in any way. It's always Christ. Because my grace is sufficient for thee, God says, for my strength is made perfect in weakness. So when we're weak, when we're struggling, when we're upset, when we're distressed, when we feel any anxiety or suffering, we must remember that this is all for our better. I mean, think about it. Would you rather be rescued from your suffering and affliction, or be given the grace and the strength to get through it? God does the latter for us. And he gives us these thorns as a reminder. Any goodness in us, or anything that goes well for us, that we want to glory in, we must remember, no. You will be reminded of the thorn in your flesh. And God does this to help us. Christ does this so that we remember him, Jesus Christ. So, 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 10 now. Therefore I take pleasure in infirmities, in reproaches, in necessities, in persecutions, in distresses, for Christ's sake. For when I am weak, then I am strong. I love this. It's a reminder of how much we need him, how much we need Christ. And what did Paul say? Paul said, once he had his thorn in the flesh, the messenger of Satan to buffet me, lest I should be exalted above measure. Because Paul must have been being recognized as a special man, as a great man, despite the persecutions he was going through. And that would have led to persecutions. For this thing I besought the Lord thrice, that it might depart from me, this thorn in his flesh. And he said unto me, my grace is sufficient for thee, for my strength is made perfect in weakness. Glory in your infirmities. Whatever your thorn is, and you know what it is, glory in it. It is an honor to suffer as a soldier for Christ. And soldier is the correct word here, as it says in 2 Peter verse 8. We must remember that, chapter 5 verse 8 I believe, and we must remember that as we're fighting a war, thorns will come, we will suffer, but the reward at the end is true glory, glory the type of which we could never imagine. God bless you.